buying real estate with other people's money. So you want to invest in real estate, but you don't have the cash or the credit to really get started. Well, I'm pretty sure that you know that it can be done because you're watching this video. I literally started making a lot of money in real estate while I was bankrupt and in my parents' basement. So I know that you know it's possible. But there's some caveats, there's some details that I gotta share with you so that you can do it right and change your position the same way that I did. Let's go. I'm gonna share with you my full blueprint on how I went from living in my parents' basement to having my own real estate empire worth millions of dollars and having hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash at all times with my business, using other people's money, again, other people's cash, not necessarily mine. I'm gonna share with you my simple formula and a quick script that you can use to get other people's money and how you do it. And last but not least, I'm gonna give you this special technique that I have formulated and perfected over the past few years. I literally just used it yesterday and picked up 5 more properties with other people's money. Again, that's all I use now. So I'm gonna tell you that one technique that you can use and start today. So not even my 2 master's degrees taught me this. What I'm gonna share with you, I learned from the real world, and this is what works. So when we're talking about real estate investing, one of the things that is taught in school that is just absolutely wrong that I want to make sure that I clarify up front is that you can turn debt into money. So one of the things that we're taught growing up and that we learn in school, unfortunately, is to kind of be afraid of debt. And when we're talking about other people's money, in many cases, we're talking about debt because you do necessarily, in most cases, they're going to want you to repay that money. And usually repaying money or borrowing money also comes with interest rates or fees or points and things like that that really shy away from, what people are taught and what their parents have taught them. And so when we're talking about real estate investing, you gotta get really clear and know that you're gonna need to use other people's money and that this is not a problem. This is the way that we do it, and this is the smart way to do it if you follow the right techniques. So real estate investing consists of a couple of things. In most cases, you are looking to buy properties at a lower price and then sell them at a higher price. That is usually the gist of it, whether we're talking about houses, condos, apartments, strip malls, warehouses, vacant lots. When we're talking about real estate and we're talking about investing in real estate, we're talking about making profits, usually from buying low and selling high. Or we're talking about using and leveraging those properties by having a mortgage or obtaining those properties and then putting tenants in them of some sort and getting that cash flow. So there's different ways that you can invest in real estate, but those are the 2 primary ways that most people do. And those are the primary ways that we can leverage other people's money so that we can start making money. Let's get into that part. So when we're talking about the smart way to use other people's money to buy real estate or buying real estate using other people's money, the smart way, you gotta start thinking like a real estate investor. So most people go out and they can always get a mortgage. We already know that there's tons of companies that'll let you go buy a house and you can get a mortgage and, put that property in and just live in that property. But that's how most consumers, or we call them civilians, buy real estate. But as a real estate investor, you are trying to turn debt into money. Okay, so you got to start looking at real estate differently, and you have to start seeing it as a commodity. You cannot care about, where, what school it goes to, and, does it have a pool in the backyard and all this other stuff that you may want for your own personal home. When we are talking about real estate investing, we are talking about how can I make the most money off of this piece of property? How can I buy this property for the lowest amount possible, and how can I sell it for the highest amount possible? That's the game. To be clear on that, the smartest and best way to do it is to become a business, okay? If you really want to leverage other people's money in a big way in real estate and really do this thing big where you don't have to work for someone else and you don't have to clock in or you're never worried about money again, start as a business. Go ahead, step 1, get that business license, the LLC or the corporation. Go ahead and get a business name and a business phone number and a business email and a website. Go ahead and take those couple of steps that are needed to start you a business, because this is going to open the door where you can borrow and get more money and really scale this and make a real business. I said this before, and my coach said it to me. This is how I ended up in my parents' basement, bankrupt and in foreclosure, is I didn't take it seriously as a business. I thought I could fix and flip a couple of houses. I really wasn't committed to real estate investing. I wanted a couple of rental properties. I had a couple of rental properties, but a couple of rental properties is not a business. It's more of a headache, okay? If you really want to be successful in real estate and you really want to start leveraging other people's money, start trying to leverage a lot of other people's money. You want millions of dollars in other people's money, at least tens of thousands. You know, you want 20, 40, 50,000 just to start off, and leverage their money so you can get as many properties as possible so that real estate is not a headache for you, okay? So that's one of the things I need to make sure that you're clear on. So the next step when buying real estate using other people's money is you want to take that business that you've created and then establish business credit, okay? This is pretty simple to do. I've actually made an entire video. I'll make sure I put a link in the description box so you can watch and read and learn all about how to build business credit really quickly. But the key to it is simple. I'll tell you just the gist of it really fast. Once you have the business set up, like I said, just the LLC, phone number, website, not too much. Again, I have students that have done this in one day, literally depending on what state you are in. You can have your business set up in one day and start building business credit the very next day, okay? And so, well, actually it's going to take a couple of days because you're going to need that Dun & Bradstreet number. And Dun & Bradstreet is the business credit reporting agency that, you know, puts the business credit report together. The primary one, there's also Equifax and Experian Business, but Dun & Bradstreet is the biggest one. And that does take probably a couple of weeks to make sure you get that Dun & Bradstreet number. But when you are building your business credit, this is going to open the door to get business funding in your business's name that's not touching your personal credit, okay? I know some of you are super excited to hear that. I was super late to the game with business credit, so I'm happy to share this with you and tell you to do this immediately. Do not wait. I took way too long to start establishing my business credit. I've been doing it for a few years now, but I should have done this in 2009, okay? Like I said, when I was in my parents' basement, I could have done that, but I didn't. So I'm telling you to do it because I have students that have done this, and in 6 months to a year, they have hundreds of thousands of dollars in credit in their business's name, and now they can buy tons of properties and quit those jobs that they hate. So this is how you're going to leverage other people's money with your business credit. Now, yes, you can use your own personal credit, but that is not Noelle's recommendation, nor is it the smartest way to do it, because once it's all on your personal credit report, like I found out when I was in my parents' basement, I had bad credit, and then I was limited to what I could do in real estate. You know, at that point, I couldn't really buy houses in my name. I had to wait a couple of years to let, you know, the bankruptcy season a little bit and stuff like that. So if you don't ever get into that situation, which is what I'm teaching you the smart way to do it, I'm not even going to tell you to do it the way I did it. I'm going to tell you to do it the smart way. Go ahead and establish that business credit so you can get business funding and start leveraging other people's money to buy your rental properties with. So after a few months, you know, like I said, of establishing the business credit, you're going to go ahead and you're going to get funded. You're going to get business funding. You're going to get business lines of credit. You're going to get business credit cards. Make sure you open a business checking account, because this is going to be important for you as well, because lots of, you know, the lenders will make sure they're going to want to see your business checking account statements, but usually they only ask for 1 month or 3 months worth of statements. It's not like a whole bunch of statements. So again, 3 months worth of statements. It only takes you 3 months to do this. And this is how I have students that are literally able to quit their jobs and be full-time real estate entrepreneurs in less than a year, okay? You're going to leverage, you're going to create a business, you're going to leverage that, you're going to get business credit, and then you're going to get business funding, and then you're going to buy income-producing properties, plain and simple. So once you've done that, that's the last step. And it is not as hard as you think. With many cases, you can use those business credit cards to get cash advances. You can start get lines of credit and start putting the money from the lines of credit into your business checking account so that you can show that you have money in your business checking account. Then you get hard money loans, buy properties, or you can create your own crowd funds and things like that. But you'll never really have to use any of your money, and doing what I'm telling you to do, you're not even using your own credit. Okay? Because this is going to be reported on your business credit report. Yes, they may ask to see your credit just to make sure you don't have bad credit, but it's not going to be reporting on your personal credit report. This stuff is going to report to your business credit report, and then the sky's the limit. So I have created an entire training just for you. You can go to noellsfreetraining.com. That's Noelle, Noelles. Free, F-R-E-E, training, T-R-A-I-N-I-G, noellsfreetraining.com. I've created an entire training completely free. It's a little bit longer than I can have put out here. So go ahead and make sure you watch that full training so you can get started, learn the exact formula to making big profits in real estate without losing money, where you can start making money soon, not months, years. You can start making money pretty much immediately. This is Noelle. To your success.